the one and only Professor Anil Gupta, our most revered 11 Bhatt, Professor Agarwal, Dr. Gopichan, proud award winners, their proud teachers, their proud parents, their proud friends, ladies and gentlemen. What a fantastic morning, isn't it? You know, I'm never satisfied. I'll tell you, you have been clapping loudly, but not loud enough so that even last year's award winners can hear, all of India can hear. So let us give one big round of applause. Fantastic. Now I feel good. You know, it's always wonderful to be in this hall. Anil, it is inspiring. Whenever I stand here, I'll tell you, it's so fabulous, what a feeling. And we have this very special morning here, we were celebrating. Let me start from the end. We celebrated the grassroots innovators. And just on 7 March, our President, Pranab Mukherjee, celebrated them, felicitated them. What a grand function it was. And within a couple of days, the ex-president, Pratibha Patil, invited the award winners at their home. She personally came and visited it, the whole exhibition. The commitment at the level of the head of the state, not only the current, the past, and Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was equally involved, as you know. I mean, he started this particular practice of the president giving away the awards. And this is all based on a very fundamental principle, which I keep on repeating, that 120 crore Indians does not mean 120 crore mouths, they mean 120 crore minds. And that is the power of the grassroots innovation that you said. Everybody can think, everybody can innovate, everybody can make a difference, like what Dr. Gopichan was saying. I must congratulate Professor Anil Gupta and his entire team. This great initiative that Srishti had, 2009, techpedia, getting all of India galvanized, really. Particularly bringing to the front the young students, young people, the way they innovate, not just the national laboratories and universities and so on and so forth, but everyone, all these young minds. I think it's incredible. What is special, Anil, today? I'll tell you what was special was, as I was going around the exhibition, it was a phenomenal experience. Number of things I loved today. First is Team India. You know, I mean, it's incredible. IIT Madras, IIT Bombay, Dhirubhai Ambani Institute, all of them coming together and so on and so forth. And I always said that we always think of Team India, One India, and India first will make it. And I saw that spirit today. I think that's the first thing. The second is, you know, we always talk in terms of universities, Professor Agarwal, as you rightly said, going for excellence. But we must look at relevance, and excellence and relevance must go together. Mere excellence without relevance wouldn't do. You can get some good ranking, get counted among the top 500 universities, so what? At the end, what you do in terms of science, technology, if it's not going to make a difference to the billions, it's not going to work. And therefore, I saw this fantastic combination of excellence and relevance, making high technology work. I mean, I saw magnetorheological fluids being used very imaginatively. I used the first principles of viscoelasticity being used. You know, by profession, I've been a chemical engineer, but I specialized in polymer science and engineering, and particularly in polymer viscoelasticity, and I was amazed, Anil, the way it was basically used. Nanotechnology, cutting-edge nanotechnology to solve the problems. So who says excellence is separate and relevance is separate? Who says that excellence and relevance cannot be combined? Dr. Gopichan, I think this was a brilliant example of that being covered. The third thing that impressed me most was this. You know, there are problems. 120 crore Indians, people say 120 crore problems, no issue. As long as we are not a part of a problem, we become part of a solution. For 120 crore problems, we can find 120 crore solutions, all right? And for that, वो दिल में जलन होनी चाहिए, है ना? Compassion होना चाहिए कि भाई ये ठीक नहीं है, इसको ठीक करवाना है. And ये compassion मैंने देखा आज. जैसे कि the team from Kerala, somebody got electrocuted, young student, and they say, no, this is not done. And therefore the system that they have developed is actually a very comprehensive system which will prevent that. Why? Because they couldn't see somebody young just dying like that, and they wanted a solution. We are all read about Nirbhaya. 120 crore hearts burnt when whatever happened to that little innocent girl in Delhi. But then there is a team, you know, Manisha and her colleagues, they said, no, this is not on. And they went ahead and said what technology can do, and they created something where somebody with ill intentions, if he touches the woman, he can get electrocuted, basically. Using technology because they were bothered that this is not on. I saw in this great audience, and that's what makes Anil, me very, very optimistic about India. People are looking at blind and they say, no, how can I help them? People are looking at deaf and they are saying, how can I help them? You know the kind of innovations that we saw. They don't want to be a part of a problem, they want to be a part of a solution. I think that's a tremendous message all across. I think this hall is so special today. It's exemplar as far as all of India is concerned, basically, on how India can raise itself to a completely sort of different level. These awards are very special, by the way. Some of them are called MLM awards, more from less for more. Let me explain to you the logic behind it. People always say, as technology advances, you create more and more divide between the haves and the have-nots. And why that divide comes? Because the Western world has always talked in terms of more from more. Right? You get iPhone 5, iPhone 6, the rest of them, and so on and so forth, iPads, iPods, and so on and so forth. You'll have more and more expensive products, more and more functionalities, more and more features, but more and more money, and more profit. And when it came to the poor, we said less for less. Right? अरे वो तो गरीब है, वो क्या ये कर सकता है, चलो उसके लिए. What we are trying to do, that's what I saw in the exhibition, is not more from more, is not less from less, it is more from less. And if you do more from less, then many people can use it. That's what becomes MLM, more from less for more. That is the genesis of these awards. That's Gandhian innovation, by the way. Because Gandhiji wanted the fruits of science to reach the entire society, like Ilaben, you so eloquently, so passionately conveyed to all of us. And we learned so much from your speech today. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to assure you that MLM is not a message which is just pertinent for India. Anil, it is becoming pertinent all over the world. Can you believe it? You know, on 1st April, where I'm going to be? 3rd April, Brussels. Why? because European Union has invited me to speak on MLM, more from less for more, addressing the cabinet of the European Commissioner. And on 5th of April, I'm addressing 3,000 people of a company who is interested in understanding MLM, a European company, a leading company. Why would they be interested? Why? I mean, we can understand that we are a poor country, affordable access, this, that, and the other. Gopishan, why are they interested? Well, it is becoming very clear that age of affluence is going away and age of austerity is something they are beginning to understand. And that is why I admire what GE and GE Healthcare is doing. As you heard that GE R&D Center has come up in Bangalore. Yes, you are absolutely right. The journey began when in National Chemical Laboratory we started partnering with GE, and Jack Welch was so impressed with what we were able to do. He said, if they are so good, why are we not there? And that is how that center actually came up. I was there during the sort of inaugural session there. And what he said was, in the press conference, that we have the highest intellectual capital per dollar here in India. That is how that laboratory was still. Highest. So you represent the highest intellectual capital per dollar. And it is not. And it is not because you are low cost, no. The kind of value that you create is so high. It is not cost arbitrage, Anil. It is value arbitrage. Don't forget that the latest Intel chip is being designed in Bangalore, not in the US. The latest aero engine of GE was designed in Bangalore. It was not in US. You get the point? So each one of you are capable of that. If you ask me, for India, what is most important and what I saw today, there are three things that I saw, Anil. The first was a war on West. I could see that everywhere. It could be waste of material, it could be waste of time, it could be waste of this, that, etc., etc. You are saying no. The second is extreme efficiency. How can you do things faster, better, and so on and so forth. And the third was value maximization, creating value. And creating value means what? Not just making more profit. All right? It's not that. Creating value means creating value for the people. All right? That's something very special about Indian society and Indian innovators. And practically all the sort of innovations that one saw actually belong to that category. I want to emphasize something that, and you very eloquently pointed that out. See, innovation is the key finally to competitiveness. Innovation is the key if we want to create a society which is equitable. Finally, innovation can bring both competitiveness as well as equity. And when will it bring equity? When you do MLM. More from less for more people, many people, not just more from less for more profit. In fact, the key word has to be, yes, people, yes, planet, as you rightly pointed out. Again and again you talked about the environment. And not just profit, prosperity. And prosperity for whom? For all. Keywords, takeaway. All right? How do you include more and more people? The moment you are doing the kind of healthcare that you talk about, you know. And therefore, GE Healthcare, for example, what are they doing? They have looked at an ECG machine, electrocardiogram machine, which costs $10,000, and they have done it for what? $600. I was in China, and I saw an ultrasound machine, which costs $20,000. They have done it for $1,500. Now, you can quite clearly see, at that price point, in villages, everywhere we can sort of start moving these, isn't it? And that is why Jeffrey Emmett, your current chief, talks about reverse innovation. Because previously, you know what happened? The US, Europe did the innovations, then they looked at us, and they said, what can they afford? And they just started knocking down the functionalities, and they said, all right, this knockdown product will be for you. It's the other way around. That's what Jeffrey Emmett is saying. He said, now, it is the Indias of this world, Chinas of this world, who are going to be the centers of innovation, like what we have. And then the rest of the world is going to say, can we have it please, with some additional value and additional functionality, so the whole word is changing. I'd like to end by just narrating something that is very close to my heart, because I have seen commonality between all this that is happening. I think, you know, as I always often said, and I don't mind repeating it, innovation is one that's very important. We are celebrating that. You have to have passion in the belly, without which you cannot. And what was most impressive, Anil, was as I was going around, I could see the passion in the belly, as people were explaining, so as to say, you know. But also compassion in the heart. Innovation, passion, and compassion. And I think that is going to be the hallmark. There are two people here, Professor Anil Gupta and Ms. Elaben Bhatt. We have what is called as Anjani Mashelkar Inclusive Innovation Award. That is, in my mother's name, we created that. Professor Anil Gupta chairs that committee. Ms. Elaben Bhatt is a member of the committee. It's a national committee which selects the awards. I want to tell you about these couple of awards and draw a similarity between what those awards were, because it was your choice, and what we saw today, and draw a lesson and then close my lecture. Why did I create that award? My mother used to say, if you are poor, there is a challenge. If you are old, there is a challenge. If you are poor and old, there is a huge challenge. And 11, she used to say, if you are poor, old, and a woman, only God can save you. So do something. And therefore we said, can we look at awards for these people, I mean, who create such innovations. You know, this year, the person who got that award is a young boy called Mishkin. You know why he got that? Very interesting. He asked a simple question. He said, I can understand people dying of cancer. I can't understand why they die of anemia. Because hemoglobin level, you know, I mean, when it goes low, you can't detect it, okay? And by the time you detect it, it's too late. I mean, you detect it in a village, it has to go to a city, for a nearby city to get it detected, and then the report comes in 3 days, by the way. I mean, it's incredible. I just was in a village recently and I saw that. So he said, why that? Needles are used. He said, why not non-invasive? Put something around the finger and you would know it. Now, nobody has done non-invasive detection of hemoglobin before, by the way. Nobody in the world. It requires extremely sophisticated technology. And he developed it. And then he said, why should it cost 200, 300, 400 rupees? Why not 10 rupees? Looked impossible, isn't it? He did it. Now, that's what got the award. And why did he then get the award? Because of the compassion that he had, because he thought that those people should not die of anemia. And therefore, I was very impressed, Anil, today when we saw a similar effort to do non-invasively the blood glucose, I saw the B12, and so on and so forth. I'm seeing, a commonality between what all these young people are trying to achieve. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't it? It's wonderful. And non-invasive, वो सुई लगाने की जरूरत नहीं है. समझे आप तो कितना फर्क पड़ता है? Last year's award was won by one Shyam Vasudeva. You know what he did? Needless blindness. You have problem on glaucoma, diabetic retina, cataract and all that. 5 tests, he does it at 1/10 of the cost. But not less from less, more from less. It's as sophisticated as anything in the world. Okay, but 1/10, 10%. But that's not why he got the award. You know why he got the award? Very interesting. He went to the slums and found that nobody from slum would come for testing. You know why? Because when you go there, you put that eye drop, and then what happens? For 3-4 hours you are fuzzy. Right? Now, you can't work on that day. And if you can't work, your daily wage is gone, your children might go hungry. So he said, why do I have to put that drop at all? And he created something using near infrared, again, and a very sophisticated sensor, by the way, which cost just 1/10. And I'll tell you, I'd like to end my talk by saying something that was remarkable, that I'm very proud. This was exhibited in Delhi, and at that time, Vilasrao Deshmukh, the Minister of Science and Technology, was alive. And I have a photograph where actually Vilasrao Deshmukh is showing that to her. And you know what Hillary Clinton said? You have this, you have developed this, you are way ahead of us, we don't have it. Can we have this Indian product in America? Hillary Clinton saying that. And then he said, of course, but FDA approval is needed. And then she said, I will work with you. And actually they are working now in order to move it. What is the point I'm trying to make? We have this wrong impression that everything is going to be designed and developed there, okay? And then it is going to come here. I'm sorry, no. Look at what you have developed today. Many of the products that you have today have the potential of becoming global products, provided, of course, the conditions that you talked about, the innovation ecosystem that you talked about actually gets established, because it is not the power of, by the way. Ideas will remain as ideas unless they move finally into marketable products. And that's a tough journey. And we will help you in moving forward. In fact, that's what exactly we have been discussing. We are not just interested in applauding you, taking group photographs, having a publication the following day in the media that we have done it, and then forget about it till the next year. No, that is not the issue. The issue is that we'll walk with you, okay, to make sure that we become leaders in innovation. As one gets older, you know, there is a cliche, they say, you must not add just years to your life, you must add life to your years. As a 70-year-old man, I can say, I have added life to my years today. Thank you very much.
We have just enough time for some